Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A construct whereby objects or individuals can be distinguished. Self-confidence is not an endearing property. Any movable articles or objects used on the set of a play or movie. Something owned. Any tangible or intangible possession that is owned by someone. That had as my property. Any area set aside for a particular purpose. The president was concerned about the property across from the White House. A basic or essential attribute shared by all members of a class. A construct whereby objects or individuals can be distinguished. Decide as to where something belongs in a scheme. Attribute or credit to. We attributed this quotation to Shakespeare. An abstraction belonging to or characteristic of an entity. A construct whereby objects or individuals can be distinguished. Magnitude or extent. Indicate the dimensions on. These techniques permit us to dimension the human heart. One of three Cartesian coordinates that determine a position in space. Shape or form to required dimensions. The magnitude of something in a particular direction, especially length or width or height. A propeller that rotates to push against air. Any movable articles or objects used on the set of a play or movie. Before every scene he ran down his checklist of props. Support by placing against something solid or rigid. A support placed beneath or against something to keep it from shaking or falling. Something owned. Any tangible or intangible possession that is owned by someone. The act of retaining something. Something owned. Any tangible or intangible possession that is owned by someone. A job in an organization. Assign a location to. A point located with respect to surface features of some region. This is a nice place for a picnic. Assign a rank or rating to. The particular portion of space occupied by something. He put the lamp back in its place. A particular situation. If you were in my place, what would you do? Assign to a station. A space reserved for sitting, as in a theater or on a train or airplane. He sat in someone else's place. Recognize as being. Establish the identity of someone or something. Where you live at a particular time. Your place or mine. Identify the location or place of. Locate. Take a place in a competition, often followed by an ordinal. Put into a certain place or abstract location. A public square with room for pedestrians. Make an investment. Proper or designated social situation. He overstepped his place. A blank area. Any area set aside for a particular purpose. Who owns this place? Estimate. An item on a list or in a sequence. In the second place. Intend. Something, to move towards a certain goal. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Took his place. A general vicinity. He comes from a place near Chicago. An abstract mental location. He has a special place in my thoughts. Assigned to a job or a home. Finish second or better in a horse or dog race. He bet $2 on number 6 to place. Place somebody in a particular situation or location. He was placed on probation. Proper or appropriate position or location. A woman's place is no longer in the kitchen. Sing a note with the correct pitch. The passage that is being read. He lost his place on the page. To arrange for. Place a phone call. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. The event that occurred at the beginning of something. The creation of something in the mind. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. The act of becoming pregnant. Fertilization of an ovum by a spermatozoan. Make by combining materials and parts. Some eccentric constructed an electric brazier warmer. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. Reassemble mentally. Reconstruct the events of 20 years ago. Put together out of artificial or natural components or parts. Create by linking linguistic units. Construct a sentence. Create by organizing and linking ideas, arguments, or concepts. Construct a proof. Draw with suitable instruments and under specified conditions. Construct an equilateral triangle. A tangible and visible entity. An entity that can cast a shadow. The goal intended to be attained, and which is believed to be attainable. The sole object of her trip was to see her children. A tangible and visible entity. An entity that can cast a shadow. It was full of rackets, balls and other objects. Be averse to or express disapproval of. My wife objects to modern furniture. Computing. A discrete item that provides a description of virtually anything known to a computer. In object-oriented programming, objects include data and define its status, its methods of operation and how it interacts with other objects. Express or raise an objection or protest or criticism or express dissent. She never objected to the amount of work her boss charged her with. Grammar. A constituent that is acted upon. The object of the verb. The focus of cognitions or feelings. Objects of thought. The trait of resolutely controlling your own behavior. The act of having and controlling property. A mania restricted to one thing or idea. Anything owned or possessed. A territory that is controlled by a ruling state. Being controlled by passion or the supernatural. Sport. The act of controlling the ball, or puck. They took possession of the ball on their own goal line. A demarcated area of the earth. 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 Music. The distinctive property of a complex sound, a voice or noise or musical sound. A degree or grade of excellence or worth. The quality of students has risen. A characteristic property that defines the apparent individual nature of something. Each town has a quality all its own. Of superior grade. Quality paper. An essential and distinguishing attribute of something or someone. The quality of mercy is not strained. High social status. A man of quality. Of high social status. People of quality. A prominent attribute or aspect of something. Generosity is one of his best characteristics. Any measurable property of a device measured under closely specified conditions. A distinguishing quality. The integer part, positive or negative, of the representation of a logarithm. In the expression log 643 equals 2.808, the characteristic is 2. Typical or distinctive. Heard my friend's characteristic laugh. A characteristic property that defines the apparent individual nature of something. The characteristic parts of a person's face: eyes and nose and mouth and chin. His lineaments were very regular. Linguistics. A distinctive characteristic of a linguistic unit that serves to distinguish it from other units of the same kind. A prominent attribute or aspect of something. The map showed roads and other features. The principal, full-length film in a program at a movie theater. The feature tonight is Casablanca. Linguistics. A distinctive characteristic of a linguistic unit that serves to distinguish it from other units of the same kind. Have as a feature. This restaurant features the most famous chefs in France. A special or prominent article in a newspaper or magazine. They ran a feature on retirement planning. Wear or display in an ostentatious or proud manner. The characteristic parts of a person's face: eyes and nose and mouth and chin. An expression of pleasure crossed his features. An article of merchandise that is displayed or advertised more than other articles. A formal recommendation by a former employer to a potential future employer describing the person's qualifications and dependability. Requests for character references are all too often answered evasively. A person of a specified kind, usually with many eccentricities. A real character. The inherent complex of attributes that determines a person's moral and ethical actions and reactions. Education has for its object the formation of character. An imaginary person represented in a work of fiction, play or film or story. She is the main character in the novel. A written symbol that is used to represent speech. The Greek alphabet has 24 characters. A characteristic property that defines the apparent individual nature of something. The radical character of our demands. An actor's portrayal of someone in a play. Engrave or inscribe characters on. Genetics. An attribute, structural or functional, that is determined by a gene or group of genes. Good repute. He is a man of character. A prop consisting of an open pie filled with real or artificial custard, thrown in slapstick comedies. Property owned by a government. A major social class or order of persons regarded collectively as part of the body politic of the country, especially in the United Kingdom, and formerly possessing distinct political rights. Extensive landed property, especially in the country, retained by the owner for his own use. The family owned a large estate on Long Island. Everything you own. All of your assets, whether real property or personal property, and liabilities. Movable property, as distinguished from real estate. Property that provides tax income for local governments. Movable property, as distinguished from real estate. Property or belongings that are tangible. All the property that someone possesses.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.